Only have a limited number that we can ship out right now because it is very, very popular. We're going to go to the phones. Hi, you're on the air with Lisa. And Kevin, what's your name?
Hi, Lisa. It's Renee from California.
Hey, Renee. Chris is over there kind of giving us a look at how to use the ladder there.
I got to tell you something. I have this ladder. It is awesome.
Oh, now what
and
do you use it for, Renee?
Everybody wants this ladder. I live in an apartment with vaulted ceilings. Uh-oh.
What's up? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Hey, yo. I say last week I watched that movie You People, and I wasn't going to watch it, but I get curious sometimes. And when that movie came on, you know, when it came on, I would say within the first 10 minutes, I was throwing my hands up like, oh man, it's some bullshit. The reason being is because, you know, I got real judgmental real quick. When I looked at Jonah, what's his name, Jonah Hall, when I looked at his character, I was like, why is his character a bitch? Like, why is he so passive? I didn't understand that. You know what I mean? And it opened up a door for a whole bunch of different stereotypes. And so, the way that he met Lauren London, you know what I'm saying? The way that they wrote that in there, it's kind of like, is this the way that, you know, two of the main characters are going to really meet? You know what I'm saying? And I'm looking at it from a real life aspect. It takes me back to that movie with Jamie Foxx, Tom Cruise, and Jada Pinkett. Jamie Foxx is the cab driver. And that movie right there is a cool ass movie to watch. I can't think of the name of it, but if you look up, you know, Jamie Foxx and his movies, or just look up Jamie Foxx and Tom Cruise movies, and or movies together, whatever, and you'll find it. You know what I'm saying? That was a cool ass movie, but the way that he and Jada Pinkett met was, you know, him giving her a cab ride. But for the way that they bonded was a whole different way. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I wouldn't want to be in that situation, but I liked that angle better than I liked the angle that this movie come from. What pissed me off was, like, it seemed like in a matter of days they went from meeting in a taxi cab to going out on a date. Now, in the dating scene in real life, how often will that shit happen? You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, it's like, look at all the red flags and the different dangers that come from meeting people on a whim like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like Uber drivers. Can you really trust an Uber driver? Can you really trust an Uber driver? Question that shit. You know what I'm saying? And then look at some news reports that they're not putting on TV about Uber drivers. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, when you get past that, you look at the point where it's like, is she really lying to her family about this dude? You know what I'm saying? Is she really like that? And then it goes to another question of, for the people who wrote this fucking shit, why are they making it look like it's okay to do that? Out of all the videos that I make, a lot of them are dealing with the lies, people making it look like it's okay to lie, and it's not. It's not. You know what I'm saying? It's like parents when they use that little white lie. You know what I'm saying? I promise this or I promise that. You know what I'm saying? I beat right back. When we're not guaranteed shit. You leave your house, you never know if you're gonna make it back or not. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta use your words. You gotta communicate. You know what I'm saying? And parents gotta communicate with their children so that way their children are not left with the last memory being a fucking lie. And that's the way a lot of kids have been raised up. They've been like, man, my parents lied to me like a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And it was for no reason at all. For no reason at all. And, no, man. It's like, for real, that movie was low-key, like pissing me off the more and more I got into it. Eddie Murphy's role, his role reminded me of, you remember Coming to America and how his dad did want him to marry an American girl. And his whole attitude towards the situation, the way that he thought about it, you know what I'm saying, the way that he was against it, you know what I'm saying, he didn't have no forward thinking about the shit. Well, it seems that that's the type of stereotype that was placed into Eddie Murphy's character until around the end or whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, Eddie Murphy playing a militant, it didn't go well. I ain't like that. And then you got all these cameo appearances from other people. Now, firstly, when I heard that Kenya Barris and Jonah Hill wrote this shit, but when I heard Kenya Barris, I saw red. And the reason why I saw red is because I thought about Kenya from The Housewives of Atlanta. And my hands went up and I was like, oh, hell no. How the fuck can this woman sit back and write any kind of interesting anything? She barely got her life together. You know what I'm saying? Throughout all the shit that she's been going through throughout these years in front of the camera and behind the camera, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. It's like, did she really get her life together? Is she really happy? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, man, how in the fuck could she write a movie that is going to pull all these people or interest all these other actors into wanting to work with her? And I was like, this movie gonna be trash. But then, after I did my first video on this, I was like, let me do some research. And then I found out that Kenya Barris, whatever, actually was the creator, the writer of two TV shows that I really liked, which is Girlfriends and The Game. So I was like, and he also did Blackish, Grownish, whatever the fuck, and I ain't like those. I ain't fuck with those. I was like, you know, so many different stereotypes. It's like trying to recreate the motherfucking Cosby Show with the up to date type of charisma, with a up to date type of swag. And I'm like, no, that shit ain't working for me. I'm gonna find all kind of reasons not to like it, so I didn't even try it. It's different strokes for different folks. A lot of people like the show. I just didn't. So then I went on to being like, okay, why is this guy forcing two different cultures to coexist? Culture being a Muslim culture and a Judaic culture. Judaism, Jewish culture. You know what I'm saying? It's like, how are these people going to react to this movie? It's a thing where it's kind of like, I'm thinking to myself, you gotta really sit down with some real motherfuckers from the Muslim culture to get some permission to create a movie to where they're trying to coexist in a bonding marriage with someone who's outside of their culture, way outside of their culture, you know what I'm saying, as a Jewish people. And if you haven't done your research, or if you don't know the history between Jews and Muslims, it's kind of like, yo, look what's going on with Israel, or within Israel, and is it Iran? You know, it's kind of like you got one culture saying that this is the holy Mecca and it needs to be in this city state, and you have another culture saying no, the holy Mecca is over here in this city state, and they're like right next door to each other, and it's like, for real, and that civil war basically has been going on for centuries, decades, and it's like they still ain't got their shit together. You know what I mean? So for an American to make a movie, you know what I'm saying, to even fuck with the Jewish people, it's like, yo, whose permission did you get? You know what I mean? It's kind of like getting the ghetto pass and you're not melanated. It's like, yo, you just don't sit back and say that you got a ghetto pass. You have to earn that shit. You gotta be about that life. You know what I'm saying? It's like more so of, you have a ghetto pass without even knowing that you got a ghetto pass. Alright? I mentioned Eminem once before, and I've watched other people, you know, talk about Eminem, and it's like, yo, if your neighbor comes from a different race, but y'all struggling just the same, you know what I'm saying? Y'all gotta borrow sugar from each other. You know what I mean? You're coming from the same poverty level. You know what I mean? You're under the same tax bracket. They about that life that you live in. You know what I'm saying? So even then, when it comes down to saying nigga, you know what I'm saying, they should not be saying the word nigga if they are not melanated. You know what I mean? That's our word to say it as we please. In which it's you know, saying nigga, you know, I'm getting away from it some. I'm getting away from it a lot, you know what I'm saying? Honestly, I am. But it's one of those things where it's a word that I enjoy using. It's sad. It's sad. No, it's not sad. It's just funny. It's like, yo, I don't want to use it as much, but I still like calling a nigga. You know what I'm saying? Calling somebody a nigga. You know what I'm saying? It's like the word bitch. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, it don't have much shine to it, but I still like calling a person a bitch every now and then. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like Honey Nut Cheerios. You know what I mean? I used to like it, so I'll eat it every now and then. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I'm looking at this movie and I'm like, okay, I don't like all the stereotypes that they put in it. You know, they could have done a better job. As a matter of fact, the movie shouldn't have even been written. It's something we just didn't need. And what's so fucked up about it is that a week or two before the movie was released, we had that one brother that was beat down by 5 melanated cops. You know what I'm saying? Some black on black crime like it ain't shit. And it's like, yo, now you want to put it, I mean, I know the movie was already done and was going through the process of being put out in the movie theaters, but it's like, once that happened, you know what I mean, it it overshadowed the movie. You know what I'm saying? It's like I couldn't watch that movie and just forget that, you know what I'm saying, this shit is on the news every fucking day. You know what I'm saying? A melanated man gets beat down and killed by 5 other melanated men, people that are supposed to protect and serve. So it's like, man, that movie was just a waste of energy, a waste of time to fucking watch. A lot of people a lot of people have a way of enjoying shit that I can't enjoy. And that to me is like Trump and the people who got his back. You know what I'm saying? When I look at melanated people and when I look at the things that they enjoy, when I look at the things that they, the people that they'll give their, that they'll back up and shit. When I think about the topics that they feel strongly about, you know what I'm saying? It reminds me of somebody who wants Trump to be successful. That's what that shit reminds me of. It's a stab in the back for me to see that we've come all this far, and the question is, what the fuck for? You know what I'm saying? Hip hop is one of the only. Nah, I'm not gonna say. We've created this world. We've made so many changes to this world. I ain't gonna say we created this world, but we're the original people of this world. We made so many changes to this world, and the world has changed us in so many ways. And now it's at the point where you have so many interracial relationships. It's like, that's cool, but is the history and the truth being passed along with that? You know what I'm saying? Are the tools that we need to win this racist warfare, you know what I'm saying, is that being taught to the next generation? Is that being taught within the people who are here today that can do things, that can open their mouth and say things? You know what I'm saying? I know that people outside of my race has helped or did help my ancestors in so many fucking ways. I know that. So as far as me being racist, I hate ignorance. I hate when I'm ignorant about something. I'm like, God damn. Instead of bullshitting, I could have been locked in on certain topics. But it's like, it's so much shit that's going on. Whatever I can imagine, it has happened or it will happen. So I can't be everywhere at once, and I can't learn everything at once. Things like that. So I can't beat myself up too fucking bad. You know what I mean? But when it comes down to this fucking movie, You People, the title, You People, it's like, if you have a conversation and if I'm having a conversation with you and I'm like, you people are crazy, and 2-3 people look at me like, what the fuck you mean, you people? You know what I'm saying? And especially, it's like, are you different from us? You know what I'm saying? Is it something about you that makes you better or less than us? You know what I'm saying? We supposed to be in this together type shit? What the fuck you mean, you people? That was like I'm not gonna say the very first thing, but I thought about that. I was like, man, the whole title is fucked up. You people. That's like, Muslims looking at Jews and saying, you people do this, do that, think this, think that. You know what I'm saying? And Jews looking at Muslims and saying, you people think this, think that, you do this, do that. So it's like, what was the target of this movie? Who are the people that was being targeting? You know what I'm saying? It's like, this movie right here, it caused more chaos to me than it did entertainment, and that's just a waste of fucking energy and waste of fucking time. That's why, whenever I create these videos and post them, I'm asking whoever is watching and listening, I'm asking you to be careful of what you're watching. You know what I'm saying? I have to be reminded of the phrase, not the action, but just the phrase of believe in a percentage of what you see and only believe a percentage of what you hear. You know what I'm saying? Either way it go, you can't trust everything that you see and hear. You know what I'm saying? There's no way that this life is guaranteeing us some peace. But the only guarantee that we have is that we're going to die one day. You know, we're going to leave these physical forms. You know, our essence is going to be out of these vessels. You know what I'm saying? That shit's guaranteed. But anyway, I'm going to get off here because I don't want to sound ignorant by rambling, trying to force extra thoughts in, squeezing extra words in, trying to sound like I'm using big words or whatever the fuck, and I'm just a simple guy. I don't know every fucking thing. And I'm not claiming to know every fucking thing. It's just, if something is on my mind, you know, I want to get it off. You know what I'm saying? Posting videos is like therapy. You know what I mean? I got family that I could talk to. But it seems like being able to rant like this, it helps. Let me put it to you like this. When I was going through relationship counseling, that therapist or whatever, or whoever the fuck the counselor was like, if you got something that you want to say to your companion, it's best to write it down first and proofread it. And when you proofread it, you'll realize that there's words that need to be moved around, rearranged. There's words that don't need to be said. There's thoughts that you're having that just, you know what I'm saying, that don't need to be there. And you might start off with like 4 or 5 paragraphs and only end up with one, maybe like 1 or 2 paragraphs. Because a lot of shit was unnecessary. You know what I'm saying? You would have figured out what the issue is, you know what I'm saying? And you would have figured out a way to break it down to your companion without it being something blown out of proportion. So that's what it is, you know, with these videos that I make. And I'm hoping that folks, you know, will catch on to that. And it's like, yo, there was a study that was like, whenever you're in pain, you release a lot of that pain when you're using cuss words. Instead of holding in, you know what I'm saying, that pain and not, you know, expressing or using, you know, verbal expressions as you're going through that pain. So, it helps to post these videos. But anyway, I'm going to get out of here, and I want to leave you with this disclaimer. I'm not the smartest person, and I'm not the dumbest person. I've done my research on some things, and there's a lot of shit out there that I still need to do research on, or could, or should, or whatever the fuck. The thing that I need you to do is to question everything that I'm talking about. Do your own research on these topics. Form your own opinion, and most importantly, share your opinion with other people. Because you never know when someone's thinking about the same thing that you was thinking about. It's like with this movie, You People. You have no idea how many people may share your view on that movie, You People. You know what I'm saying? Put yourself out there. You know what I mean? It ain't got to be an argument. It ain't got to cause a scene. You ain't got to sit there and disagree with somebody. You know what I'm saying? And you ain't got to sit there and spend your whole fucking day agreeing with somebody. You know what I mean? But, you know, spark a little flame and watch it grow and leave it to watch it do its own thing. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to nurture the flame, you know what I'm saying, once it gets started. It should be cool, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna get out of here. Alright? Peace.